Hello friends, it's Chari. Today I have a sweet summer paper piece die cut card to share with you. And for this card I'm using the new paper piecing style die Fresh Lemonade, which is this cute little glass of lemonade. To start out, I have a piece of mist cardstock, and I am going to layer a piece of our double-sided adhesive sheets right onto this piece of cardstock. This is going to be our base piece that we put all of our small paper piecing pieces onto, and since we're going to put the adhesive all over it, it's going to make it super easy to stick all of those little pieces down. So we're going to cut two bases because we're doing 2 glasses of lemonade on our card today. Then we're going to use the other die in the Fresh Lemonade set that has the outline and all the details to create our cute little character. And you can see here I've already cut out all my pieces in my colored cardstocks. I can pull off the liner paper. Now there's adhesive all over the solid piece. And I want to start by laying my outline on there. I don't even need to add glue because that is all sticky. Then I can add my lemonade. I use Spiffy Speckles for my drinks today. I used mist to fill in the top of the glass. I have some pixie dust sparkle cardstock for my sparkly ice cubes. And then for the straw on this one, I used cantaloupe cardstock. And I'll do the faces here in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and put together my pink lemonade cup using the same method. So starting with the outline first. Then I will fill in the drink portion, which I used pink spiffy speckles for that. Again, I have mist for the top. I have the same pixie dust cardstock for the ice cubes, so they're sparkly and fun. And then for the straw on this one, I used mermaid cardstock. Now for the faces, because they're small, I just decided to wait until I had everything put together so I did not lose those tiny little pieces. And I'm going to cut the faces from storm cloud cardstock and just drop them into place. Again, there's adhesive all over this since we used our double-sided adhesive sheets, so I don't need to worry about glue and it stays nice and clean. And now I have 2 cute new little Fresh Lemonade friends for my card. For the background of my card, I'm using the Giddy for Gingham Petite paper pack, and I am going to use this fun rainbow gingham. I'm cutting this down to 5 1/4 by 4 inches, so on a card base it will have a little white border around the outside edge. And I've also cut one of the folksy petal border dies from green spiffy speckles. I'm going to cut a strip of yellow spiffy speckles to 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to layer it behind so that yellow shines through those little openings. Then I can just trim off the excess at both ends. I did have it a little wider at one point, so I'm just going to shave off that little bit with my scissors so that you don't see that yellow peeking out of the top. This is going to go along the bottom of my card, so I'm going to go ahead and put my gingham onto my card base. You can see we have that nice white border around all 4 sides. This is going to go down here at the bottom, but I think I want to go ahead and stamp out my sentiment so that I have all my pieces and I can figure out placement. For the sentiment, I'm using the Make Lemonade stamp set, and I have spelled out the sentiment that says, "Wishing you the zest summer." And I'm just stamping this right at the top edge of a piece of white cardstock, and I'm just going to trim it down with my paper trimmer. You could use a sentiment banner if you wanted, but I wanted this to be nice and thin. This is going to layer over my folksy petal border, so I don't want it to be any bigger than it needs to be for my words. So now I have a better idea of where I want everything. I'm going to glue down my border, and I am going to put it just slightly above the bottom edge of my gingham so that peeks out a little bit below. Then I can trim off both sides where it goes off the card. Then I will add my sentiment using some foam strips. I use 2 foam strips so it is nice and supported, and this is going to go right in the middle of that border die. Now I can see where to place my lemonades. So I will just use a tape runner on the back and some tiny dots of glue on the little hands and the feet, just to hold them down in place. And I like that they're kind of holding hands in the center of my card. I just think that's so cute. Then I need to glue down my other little guy. Same way, just a little bit of glue on his hands and feet, and then he can hold hands with my pink lemonade. Now I did cut out some other pieces. I have the little flowers from the lemon vine border, and I'm adding that to my pink lemonade. That's my girl lemonade. And I'm just adding the center cut from that same pink spiffy speckles. I thought about layering the flowers together, but I decided not to, but I thought 2 flowers would be perfect. So I'm adding a second flower with a second pink center. So my pink lemonade has pink flowers in her hair. And then you can see I have 2 lemons down there from the lemon border die, and I was trying to figure out where I wanted those. I thought maybe he could hold them. I decided just to go with one and leave the second one off. I'm going to use some thin foam squares just so this has the tiniest bit of pop, and it's going to go over here in his hand. To make that stand out just a little bit more, I grabbed a Copic marker and I'm just going to add a little bit of shading to the bottom of the lemon. And to make the flowers match, I'm just adding a dab of shading to the center of the flowers. Then another added detail to make my girl lemonade look a little more feminine, I added some cute little eyelashes, which I think are so much fun. Now for glitter, I added some to the center of the flowers and a little bit on the lemon. Then for the embellishments on this card, I decided to pull out the little lemon clay pieces and scatter these around like sequins. I'm just picking them up and adding them with a little dot of glue. I think this is a fun little embellishment since we have lemonades on our card. Then I added a little bit of blush to her cheeks. Now there is a die that cuts out little cheeks that you could use as well, but I just used a colored pencil. And then my card is all finished, and I love this sweet summery card with those fun pastel colors. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you're having an amazing summer. Bye!